I recently came across something by pure coincidence that is so interesting, I absolutely had to share it with you. There is a guitar company called Ciari Guitars. It could be Chiari, I'm not sure, I'm just going to pronounce it Ciari for this video. If you've ever been to NAMM, you will likely have seen them before, because there is always one dude running around the show floor with one of these guitars. According to Ciari themselves, their guitars are the first and only stage-worthy full-size folding guitars. They come in various different colors and pickup configurations, and the gimmick is basically that they fold in half around the 12th fret with the strings still on, making them ultra-portable. Now, a standard Ciari Ascender goes for roughly $2,000, and if you look at the 3 Seymour Duncans, proprietary hinge mechanism, the fact that it's Plek machined, and most importantly, the fact that they are made in Nashville, Tennessee, that's honestly quite an okay price. Now, by all accounts, there is, or at least was supposed to be, a second factory in Tijuana, Mexico around mid-2024, but the primary factory is in Nashville, and the guitars are marketed as USA made, with phrases like Nashville craftsmanship plastered across the website. They do also go quite a bit higher in price, for example, the Steve Stevens Ascender Premier, which retails for $3,500. If you hit up the Internet Archive Wayback Machine and go back to 2020, $2,999 actually used to be the base price for any Ascender, but it seems that they've somewhat come to their senses on that end since then. Marketing a Foley gimmick guitar as the pinnacle of guitar craftsmanship seems like a bit of a stretch to me, but whatever. I've tried one or two of their guitars in the past, and they are okay, like very decent. Nothing to write home about, but they are guitars that play pretty good, and I had nothing to complain about. Until now, that is. Because recently, I was emailed by an OEM guitar factory in China, who I will not name, regarding their OEM services. Typical random email from China. And the email reads as follows. I'm not going to actually put screenshots of the emails on screen, I'm going to rewrite the whole thing myself, because legally it's sort of iffy to just post screenshots of people's emails. Good day, here is insert name of factory. We are a professional wholesale guitar OEM and ODM company for brand Ciari Guitars, Radmod Guitars, Ishibashi Music Corporation, Raku Sound Innovation, Mirage Guitar Works LLC, and so on. Our production line has over 10 years of experience with craft workers and a quality control team. I don't recall Ciari selling any made-in-China models. Do you guys build the entire guitar for Ciari? Nope, we only make the semi-finished neck plus fingerboard plus body. We don't help to install the hardware. So they essentially build the husks and then send them to Ciari in Nashville to install the hardware and electronics. Well, I wonder if they have any proof for that. Anybody can just say they build guitars for an American company. Oh. Alright then. Nowhere to go from here, really. There is no reason they would have this if they weren't actually the ones manufacturing the Ciari guitars. No factory that's just bullshitting to get hired would have headstock veneers with Ciari's logo, as well as hundreds of branded gig bags and backpacks in stock. Unless Ciari was somehow willing to deviate from their whole Nashville craftsmanship shtick and make a cheap Chinese import line, there is no getting out of this. But the thing is, this is a complicated thing to ask a Chinese factory to make. It's not, like, impossible or anything, but these guitars have a proprietary hinge mechanism that no other guitars ever had. So if that were the case, it would have had to be in planning for ages, and since Ciari are at least in some capacity present at NAMM every year, there would have been some sort of announcement for the budget import line in the past. Like Sterling by Music Man did it at NAMM about 8 months ago with the budget Kaizen, which then came out a couple of weeks ago. So I reached out to Ciari to get to the bottom of it. My message reads as follows. I'm reaching out regarding something I came across recently that may be of interest for a YouTube video. A factory in China that does OEM work contacted me and claimed that they manufacture instruments and accessories for Ciari guitars. They provided what appeared to be evidence, including photos of gig bags, headstocks, and unfinished bodies consistent with Ciari models, including the branding. Since Ciari states that all guitars are built in the US, and you don't appear to offer import models, I would like to ask for your comment or clarification on this matter. Specifically, how would a factory in China have stock and components that resemble Ciari products, and is there any context you would like to provide for this situation? I intend to cover this topic in a YouTube video, and I want to ensure your perspective is fairly represented. Please let me know if you would like to share a statement. Thank you. Now, the founder of Ciari, one Jonathan Spangler, got back to me saying that he wanted to get on a call. Now, there are 2 reasons I didn't want to do that. A, I was out of town at Guitar Summit at the time, and this is my first day back home afterwards, and I'm recording this video, so I was busy and I had no time. And B, I wouldn't feel comfortable recording a phone call for this video because even with his consent, anybody can just go back afterwards and say they didn't agree with it. It's much easier to just do it written. So I asked for a written statement and informed Jonathan that anything he says is going on the record. The situation was danced around for a little bit, and that already makes me suspicious. If there was a straight answer, I would have gotten it right away. Instead, though, Jonathan asked to see the pictures that I got from the factory in China. I respectfully declined this, since I didn't want to help him come up with an excuse by showing him exactly how much the factory showed me. If there was a good explanation for this, he wouldn't need to see the photos because he should know his dealings with an overseas manufacturer, if there are any. This was followed by a bit more stalling, which I found a bit strange, and then I got this. Dear Kalen, thanks for the note and opportunity to respond to your email. We refer to our Ascendas as Nashville crafted, not built in the USA. Not built in the USA. Given that our team of luthiers assemble our Ascendas in Nashville with components sourced in the US and abroad, and handcraft the fretwork and setup. While our very first models, 2019 to 2021, used all US parts and US assembly, we no longer brand with Made in USA or Built in the USA verbiage for our current models. We made that change during the pandemic in an effort to lower our original prices into something more affordable. We accomplished that by redesigning our folding mechanism to be less costly yet functionally improved, a rare win-win, and engaging select international vendors to achieve cost savings we could pass on to the customer by way of lower overall prices. As for sourcing, we do receive certain components, but not all, and our gig bags/backpacks from a variety of international vendors, including in China. All such international parts are made by trusted, high-quality vendors according to our proprietary designs and our exacting QC standards. The heart and soul of our current Ascendas, the necks and fingerboards, are made in the US, mostly in Nashville, where we also use Plek technology in addition to our luthier craftsmanship to achieve the pro playability our Ascendas are known for. While we've explored sourcing necks and fingerboards from China, any photos are mere prototypes and have not been used in production. Our pickups are US-made Seymour Duncans, with the only exception being the UK-based bare knuckles in our Steve Stevens signature series. We also make custom bodies and do custom finishing and flatbed printing in the US. Given the degree of complexity of our Ascenda, one could easily make the argument that a substantial transformation occurs in the US that could give rise to the Made in USA branding. However, we feel it's best and more appropriate to hold it out as Nashville crafted. We hope this added info and context helps. If you or your viewers are ever in Nashville, we cordially invite you to visit our shop. Your luthiers craft the setups, huh? See why I didn't send him the pictures from that factory now? Because if I had, he would have known exactly what to say without making a mistake. But this way, not so much. The heart and soul of our Ascendas, the necks and fingerboards, are made in the US. What's this then? Any photos are mere prototypes, hence the dozens of gig bags the factory has in stock. Those are for prototyping. Now I know that he said the gig bags are made in China, but why would the guitar factory also be making the gig bags? And if you use a variety of different partners to source your parts from internationally, how come the factory has everything? Fretboards, necks, headstock veneers with decals, gig bags. There's nothing left besides the strap pegs and hardware. And you know what else is weird? If they were so in the right and everything about their business was totally legit and I'm stupid for even investigating this, then why did they stall from writing their statement for so long and use that time to change the entire verbiage on their website? From crafted in Nashville to Nashville crafted, and adding a section about how it's only assembled from globally sourced parts. Did you feel the need to do that now that somebody's brought it up? Now something else that I found quite entertaining, and you'll have to tell me if this is as funny as I think it is that the owner, Jonathan, told me he's a lawyer. Now I did take that as a thinly veiled attempt at deterring me from making this video, which has never worked and never will, but yes, Jonathan Spangler is indeed a patent attorney admitted to practice in the state of California, which, if my suspicions about the manufacturing of CRE guitars are correct, makes the entire thing 1,000 times funnier. I know certain types of products can be classified as made wherever, if upwards of 50% of the work is being done in that place. It's done that way with a lot of inexpensive Swiss-made watches. It's done with a lot of stuff that's made in Germany. Another thing that happens a lot is that USA guitar companies, though I don't think I'm legally allowed to name which ones, will often have stuff like necks CNC cut in Korea and then shipped to the US. That I don't care about. There are many steps to be done after a neck leaves the CNC machine. The actual labor is still being done in the US in that case. But a finished neck, fretboard, and body, including the headstock veneers with logo decals being made in China and then shipped to the US for the pickups and bridge to be installed, that don't count. This brand leans so heavily on the idea that their guitars are USA made and made in Nashville that every article or review talks about it, to the point where even KDH, a good friend of mine and a notoriously honest YouTuber, said in his video about CRE guitars that they are made in Nashville, because that's what they tell him and the public, and therefore as far as he and everybody else is concerned, that's a fact. How are you going to verify it? I have to be very, very clear about the fact that I'm not accusing any YouTubers of lying, because plenty of them have reviewed these guitars and said the same thing. They know what the company tells them. If that's bogus, it's not their fault.
For a made in Nashville Made in the US guitar.
But I'm also not accusing Ciari of rebadging Chinese guitars as USA made. You can do that yourself. You're all functioning adults and can make up your own minds about this, but you know what I know now, and it's pretty straightforward. I've given you all information from Ciari's side, from the China side, and from my own side. Make of it what you will. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.